Good morning, students. Did you watch the video I sent regarding lesson 3? Why I sent that video? Just to get a better understanding of the chapter, as well as you can just go through how the plants look like. The plants about which the writer has described in the chapter. Today we will be doing the reading and explanation of the chapter. Let's start the reading. What it is saying, let's share our experiences. It's a class quiz on flowers and plants. We have to do this by making pairs. Now, because of this problem of COVID, we cannot perform the activity in class. So, no problem. We'll do it through a virtual class. Now, these are the examples which are given. What for the activity? We have to write the description of some plants and the partner has to identify which plant or which tree I'm talking about. We'll do once we'll meet back in the class. For the moment, let's just discuss. This plant grows in India. It looks like a tree, but actually is a kind of grass. Many useful things are made from it. What it is? Through picture, can you make a guesswork? It's sugar cane. Let's see the second one. It is one of the most beautiful flowers in the world. It comes in many varieties and colors. The stalks. What are stalks? Stalks are stems. The stalks have big thorns and the flowers have a sweet scent. Through picture, we can easily guess out. The writer is talking about the rose. Did you enjoy this quiz? Alright. Now we shall take a trip around a botanical garden. Did you remember what ma'am told about this botanical garden? Did you remember? To brief, it is a place where the plants are grown so that people can come and just view those plants, as well as the scientific study is done on these plants. And discover some curious. Can you find this word curious here? What is the curious? Curious in which you develop your interest. Okay? Something which is attractive to you. You want to know more about it. Some curious and interesting plants. Now we'll begin the reading. Ashish stood at the gate of botanical garden. He was excited. What is this word meaning, excited? He was very curious. He was very happy to be there, waiting for his father's friend, Biren Kaka. What was the name of his father's friend? Biren Kaka, who was a botanist in the garden. Biren Kaka had promised to take him around the garden to show him some curious and interesting plants. What promise Biren Kaka made to Ashish? That he will be taking around, showing him very interesting plants. Ashish loved going for natural rambles. Yes, can you see this word rambles? Rambles mean the walk taken for pleasure. The walk taken for pleasure, as Biren Kaka called them. They would start early in the morning, when the sun was low and shining on the morning dew. So what they planned, Biren Kaka said that okay, we'll start early when the sunrise has just begun and there is little shining on the morning dew. What is morning dew? The small droplets of water which you find on the leaves early morning. And the air was cool and pleasant. Of course, it's the beginning of the day, so air would be cool and pleasant. So the weather will be very nice. So they decided that they begin early. When Biren Kaka arrived, the very first thing they saw was a giant tree. Giant tree means huge big tree with fat trunk and a crown of branches. You remember the video I showed you? It was a tree which had a fat trunk and the branches were appearing as though they are making a crown. What is this tree? Asked Ashish. It is such a funny shape, like a barrel with branches on top. Now, what is this word barrel? Barrel is actually a container which is a little bulging, a little thick or a fat in the middle, and it is narrow at the end. What is the meaning of barrel? A container in which we can fill the liquid, which is a little bulging in the middle and narrow at the end. So, what did Ashish say? Look, it's such a funny shape this tree is having. It's looking as though it's a barrel and the branches are there on the top of the barrel. Then what did the Biren Kaka reply? That is why it is called a bottle tree. Yes. Why was it called as a bottle tree? Because it was giving the appearance of a bottle. It has come all the way from Africa and is also known as baobab. Okay, where this plant belonged to originally? Bottle tree belongs originally to Africa. It must be very old, said Ashish. And it is so huge. So out of curiosity, what did Ashish said? I think it's very old and it's very huge also. Yes? To this, Biren Kaka replied that it could be 400 years old. Why? Because the thickness of the trunk keeps growing as the age of the tree grows. The older the tree is, the thicker is the trunk of the tree. And just looking at the thickness of the trunk, Biren Kaka said that it could be a possibility that it could be 400 years old. Now further, when they moved on, they came to a nursery. Nursery is the place where the plants are kept. Okay? And if they are where they came to the nursery, now this nursery, what it had? There are too small or weak to survive in open. Why do we keep plants in nursery? Because like the kids we keep young babies, kids with a lot of care. So the plants which are small or weak to survive. Can you see this word survive here? Survive means to live. Yes, they cannot live in open because there are harsh conditions. Might be the weather could be a little extremely hot, extremely cold, there could be rain. And because these plants are too small or too weak, they cannot sustain, they cannot live in that harsh conditions. So they are kept in nursery. Look, said Biren Kaka, one of the strangest plants. Can you see this word? Strangest? Strange, stranger, strangest. Strangest means the plant which is very odd, which does not look normal. Yes, it is not giving the look as the other plants do look. What did Biren Kaka said? One of the strangest plants you will ever see. This big green leaf is shaped like a pitcher. Pitcher is the container. Pitcher is the container in which we fill water. Okay. So the Biren Kaka told that this leaf is looking like a pitcher or jug, with the top of the leaf covering it like a lid. Yes, that is why it is called a pitcher plant. Yes, you cover up something, that is called lid. Yes, you always have a lid for your pen. Why is it there? To cover or protect the point of the pen so that it does not get damaged. So lid is something which is used to close, okay, to cover something. That is why it is called a pitcher plant, because it is giving the appearance of a pitcher. That's why this plant is called as pitcher plants. What is special about it? Asked Ashish. Ashish said, so what's so special about it? Well, said Biren Kaka, first of all, it eats insects. A carnivore, said Ashish. What did Ashish said? Out of surprise, he said, "My God, there is a plant which eats insects. Is it a carnivore?" Now, carnivore is a living being who eats not only insects but animals as well. Okay, this is called carnivore. There is a difference between carnivore and insectivore. Carnivore are the ones who eat insects and animals. Insectivore are the ones who eat only insects. Okay. Yes, this plant attracts little insects that fly into the top of the pitcher. What did the Biren Kaka said? Yes, this is the plant. You know what it happens? It attracts the little insects. And then what next? The lid snaps shut. There is a lid, and what happens the moment this insect sits? This lid snaps shut. Snaps means to shut down suddenly. Okay? And then what happens? This poor insects fall. It falls into a little pool of nectar. There is some nectar at the bottom of the pitcher. Okay, at the bottom part of the pitcher there is some nectar, and this insect falls in this nectar. The insect cannot climb out of the pitcher because the pitcher's walls are smooth and slippery and have hairs pointing downwards. Why the insect cannot come out? There are two reasons. Because the walls of the pitcher are very smooth. The moment the insects want to come out, they slip down and they fall back again in the nectar. And the second thing, they also have hairs which are pointing downwards. What happens? Next, the insect dies. There it dies and is digested. Can you see this word digested? Digested means broken down into smaller pieces so that it could be absorbed. The nutrients can be absorbed by the body. So, this insect is digested. This is how pitcher plants get their food. You see, they live in poor soil with very little nourishment. What is this nourishment? Nutrients. Okay. Now, what are the nutrients they are talking about? They are talking about nutrients of plant, which in the case of plants is nitrogen. Okay, like the way the carbohydrates, proteins, vitamins, these are nutrients for our body. Same way for plants, it's nitrogen. In India, they are found in Arunachal Pradesh. So these pitcher plants are mainly found in Arunachal Pradesh. What a trap! What a trap! Trap means a place where somebody gets captured. That is called trap. Okay, what a trap. Come along, said Biren Kaka. Let's look at the next one. Here, down on the ground. Touch those leaves. Now they moved on, then they came to another plant. Biren Kaka asked Ashish to touch the leaves of that plant. As Ashish did so, the whole plant seemed to shrink away. The whole plant seemed to shrink away. Okay. Now what does this mean, shrinking? What does this mean, shrink? To come close. Okay. To become small. To shrink away from his hand. The moment Ashish touched, this plant became small. The leaves come closer. The paired leaves folded together and the branches drooped down. What is the meaning of drooped? To bend down. Okay? To bend down. As if the plant was dead. As if. Which means actually the plant was not dead. But actually it was looking as though the plant is dead. The leaves folded and the plant bent down. So in that case, what we will feel? That my God, I think this plant is dead. But that was not the case. What just happened? Exclaimed Ashish. Ashish said, my God, what happened? Exclaimed means, what does exclaim means? A sudden sort of a reaction which you give out of surprise. Okay, exclaimed. This is mimosa, said Biren Kaka. Biren Kaka said, this is a plant which is called as mimosa. It is also called touch me not. It is also called touch me not because of its shrinking habit. Shrinking. Yes, shrinking means to become small or to come closer. It has a shrinking habit, this plant, that protects it from harm. So this is the way this plant protects itself. Whenever somebody touches the plant, just want to safeguard itself and it closes. It grows mostly in undisturbed shady areas. Undisturbed means where nobody disturbs those plants, because the moment somebody will touch, these plants will shrink. And in shady areas where the sun is not there. Okay, under trees or shrubs, and has pretty little pink flowers with powder which look like powder puffs. You can see it in many places in India. Remember, I showed you in the video? Yes, those beautiful pink flowers which were looking like powder puffs. And this plant, mimosa plant, it is found in many places in India. Now they kept moving. Now the sun was shining higher now. And Ashish saw that many flowers which he had not noticed earlier were appearing. Why? Why so? Actually, when the sunlight appears, the flowers start blooming. Yes? Bright yellow sunflowers turned their faces to the sun. They were turning their faces towards the sun. Yes? Why? Sunflowers behave this way. Whichever way the sun will go, they will turn their faces towards that side. That's why they are called sunflowers. They will go according to sun. Yes? So now the other flowers were started blooming because of the sunlight, and the sunflowers were also there. Now next what he saw? Blue and purple morning glories unfolded their petals. Now this is the name of the flower, morning glory. Okay, blue and purple morning glories unfolded their petals. Unfolded means, can you see this word unfolded? It means to open up. It means to open up. Yes, they just opened up their petals. In the fish pond. Now they moved on, and next they came to the fish pond. In the fish pond, water lilies which had bloomed. Now you can see this word bloomed. Yes, blooming, I told you just now, it is actually just spreading the petals wide. That is called blooming. Now what is the nature of water lilies? They actually bloom at night, and they close themselves during the day. So in the fish pond, there were water lilies which had bloomed at the night, closed themselves for the day. And now it was time for the lotuses to open their petals to the sun. So now it was time for lotuses. Now lotuses were opened wide and they were blooming. So actually this boy Ashish got not only very nice feeling to go through this trip, he also collected a lot of information. He came to know about many different plants, and he learned a lot from this trip. Not only he enjoyed, he learned also. Yes, and I believe my students would have also learned a lot about these plants. Did you enjoy the chapter? Okay, I believe yes, you all. Now after this video, just go through the worksheet. In the worksheet, I have sent across the word meanings of this chapter. Go through the word meanings. You find something which you have not understood, please ask me in the online class. Children, just stay at home and take care of yourself. Thank you everyone.